Hello everyone, I am Dr. Anjali Jain Devtale, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Institute of Science and Research, IPS Academy, Indore. So today we will see the Newton's ring experiment. The aim of the experiment is to find out the radius of curvature of a plano-convex lens with the help of Newton's ring experiment. And the apparatus required for this purpose are Newton's ring apparatus, which includes travelling microscope, plain glass plate, plano-convex lens, sodium lens and reading lens. So before understanding the experiment, first we should know about the phenomena on which the Newton's ring experiment depends. It depends on interference phenomena. So what is interference? When two beams which is coming from the two coherent sources are superposed with each other, having same frequency, same amplitude and nearly constant phase difference, when they form a non-uniform distribution of intensity of light, this non-uniform distribution of light is known as interference. When we get the maximum intensity, this is known as constructive interference. When we get the minimum intensity of light, it is known as destructive interference. And the constructive interference is observed by bright fringe and the destructive interference is observed by dark fringe. And this interference phenomena is of two types, in which interference produced by division of wavefront, and the second one is the interference produced by division of amplitude. So in the next slide I am going to show you the interference produced by division of wavefront. In this animation you can see there are the two coherent sources and the light is coming and it is divided into parts, and the wavefronts are divided because of these two sources, and further as the light moves they will superpose with each other, and on the screen you can observe the constructive and destructive interference, or we can say dark and the bright fringes. Okay, you can easily observe in this animation. Now the next slide shows the interference produced by division of amplitude. So when this type of interference occurred, when there is a thin film in any two surfaces, remember this point, when there is any thin film, it may be of air, it may be of glass, it may be of water, oil, etc. So this type of film occurred, at that time there is a division of amplitude. In this figure you can clearly see there is a thin film having the thickness d here, or we can denote it by T also. The refractive index of the medium is N1 and the refractive index of the film medium is N2. So in this case the refraction phenomena occurs when light is incident on the film. There is a partial refraction and partial transmission take place. The incident light is striking at the point A in this figure, and after that there is a transmission of light or refraction of light from A to B, and there is a reflection from the point A. So we are getting the two lights here, one is reflected beam of light and the second one AB is a refracted beam of light. So here the amplitude divides. The incident beam having an amplitude, let us consider that incident light has amplitude A. When there is a partial reflection take place, the amplitude divides into AR. Now the amplitude will become AR, and when there is a partial transmission take place, the amplitude is AT. So we can say the amplitude A divides into the two parts AR and A2. So this is a division of amplitude, and afterwards again there is a reflection from point B to C, and from C there is a refraction process. So we have the two light beam here, they are the reflected lights, and there is a superposition between these two light beams which are in the reflected region. When we observe from the reflected region of the light, the reflected part of the light, this is known as reflected region, and when we observe from the downward region or it is a transmitted region, so this light is known as transmitted light. So here in this figure you can see the reflected light. So there is a superposition in between these two light beams which are reflected from point A and point C. Okay, and after superposition we will get the interference pattern on the screen, and which gives the dark fringe and bright fringe, alternative dark and bright fringes. Okay, so this Newton's ring experiment actually based on interference produced by division of amplitude, because in this experiment also there is a formation of thin film in between the plano-convex lens and the plane glass plate. We will discuss it further. So Newton's ring experiment is because of division of amplitude. So how the Newton's rings are formed? We will also discuss this in instrument also. What is the arrangement here? Initially there is a plain glass plate, and on the plain glass plate there is a plano-convex lens, and there is an air film in between the plano-convex lens and the glass plate. There is a gap in between these two, plano-convex lens and glass plate. So this is an air film having thickness T. The incident beam is coming from reflected region of the light, that is the upper portion. AB is the incident beam. The light will incident normally from the region AB, or this is the AB light, and it is a concept of refraction. When any light falls normally to the second medium, there is zero refraction. Light will travel the same path. I am repeating it again. When light falls normally on another medium or in process of refraction, the angle of refraction will be zero and the light travel the same path of incident light. So here the same process is happening. The light AB is incident light and it will strike to the point C at the glass plate, and because there is a normal incidence, it will travel the same path, and one point is D here. So there is a gap in between the plano-convex lens and the glass plate. So the light which is reflecting from the point B and the light which is reflecting from the point C, there is a superposition between these two light beams which is designated as E and F here. So this superposition of the light will give the interference pattern in the form of Newton's ring. Okay. So again I am repeating the same thing. The interference occurs because of the division of amplitude, because there is a thin film in between the plano-convex lens and the glass plate, and the light which is reflecting from the point B and the light which is reflecting from the point C, these two beams when interfere with each other, we will get the interference fringes on the screen. One is dark fringe and another one is the bright fringe, is obtained in the form of Newton's ring, and this was observed first by Newton. Hence this is known as Newton's ring experiment. And the locus of this plano-convex lens is spherical in shape, hence we are observing here the ring like structure. You can see in this figure number 3, the center is dark, this is a destructive interference, then bright, then dark, alternative dark and bright fringes are observed. So these are the constructive and destructive interference, and because of the locus of the plano-convex lens, it is obtained in the form of rings. So this is a concept of interference when we have to find the condition of dark and bright fringes. We are getting the dark and bright fringes. So now we should know the condition of dark and bright fringes. Why we are getting dark at the center and bright afterwards, and again dark and again bright. So there is a reason behind that. So you should know the path difference between the two light beams which are going to interfere. the light which are interfering with each other, there is a path difference between this, and this path difference is denoted by delta here, that is 2 mu t cos r plus lambda by 2. Mu is the refractive index, t is the thickness of film, r is angle of refraction, lambda is the wavelength of light used. So this delta is known as path difference between the two interfering beams. Here lambda by 2 is added because we are observing from the reflected region of the light. This is known as effective path difference, and it is observed because of the Stokes treatment. There is a phase difference of pi between the light beams which is reflected from the reflected region or from the transmitted region. So the effective path difference is 2 mu t cos r plus lambda by 2. Now we will calculate the condition of bright fringe, it means the constructive interference, and the condition of dark fringe, that is the destructive interference. I have told you earlier that when light falls normally to any medium, the angle of refraction is always 0. So in the equation delta is equals to 2 mu t cos r, r will be equals to 0. So cos r will be 1. So 2 mu t plus lambda by 2 will be the path difference. There is a standard formula to calculate the bright fringe condition. You should equate this path difference to n lambda when we will find the condition of bright fringe. So delta is equals to n lambda for constructive interference. So here the delta is 2t plus lambda by 2 is equals to n lambda. Here we are calculating the condition of bright fringe. So 2t is equals to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. यहाँ पे हम क्या कैलकुलेट करेंगे? 2t is equals to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. This is the condition of bright fringe. When you have to find the condition of dark fringe, then equate this path difference to the 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So 2t plus lambda by 2 is equals to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. Okay. Then solve it, find the value of 2t here, then 2t is equals to n lambda. So we have the two conditions, one is for bright fringe and another for dark fringe. Bright fringe condition is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 and dark fringe condition is 2t is equals to n lambda. Okay, here n is equals to 1, 2, 3 and lambda is the wavelength of the light used. So remember the important point here that in case of Newton's ring experiment, we are always observed from the reflected portion or the reflected region. So we are calculating the interference from the reflected beams of the light. Hence the lambda by 2 is added in the path difference, that is the effective path difference. So this is the experimental setup of Newton's ring experiment. So in the figure number 2, initially you are observing the plain glass plate which is denoted by the point P, and afterward there is a plano-convex lens C, and one glass plate is also there which is inclined at angle of 45 degree. Here at the right side there is a sodium lamp, and we are observing from the travelling microscope at upside. So as you switch on the lamp, the light will incident towards the plain glass plate which is inclined at 45 degree angle. The light is coming from the sodium lamp having wavelength 5890 angstrom. It is incident towards the glass plate which is inclined at 45 degree angle. After reflection, it will bend towards the plain glass plate and plano-convex lens normally. They are bending normally. When the light falls normally to the second medium, the refraction of the light takes place on the same path. I have explained earlier. So you can see the light is incident at the plane glass plate and then it will fall downward to the plane glass plate, and again there is a reflection from the plane glass plate P and light is moving towards the travelling microscope. So there is a reflection of light at the point C and at the center of the plate P. Okay. So there is a interference in between the two light beams which is reflecting from the plane glass plate and bottom of the plano-convex lens, and the fringes are observing in the same region of the air film which is formed in between plano-convex lens and the plane glass plate. Okay. So rings, where rings are formed? Rings are formed in the region of air film, and we are observing the rings which are in circular in shape like this. Okay, you can see the rings like this. The center is always dark because at the point of contact T, the value of T is 0. You can see in this equation we have the equation delta, that is 2 mu T cos r plus lambda by 2. When r is equals to 0, the equation will become 2 mu T plus lambda by 2. The air refractive index is 1, so it will be 2T plus lambda by 2. So at the point of contact, the value of T is 0. Hence, we will observe the dark fringe at the center, because you can see in this figure that at the point of contact of plano-convex lens and the plane glass plate, the value of T is 0. Hence, we are observing the dark fringe at the center. Then after there is a bright fringe, then dark, alternative dark and bright fringes are observed because of constructive and destructive interference pattern. So this type of structure is observed in the Newton's ring experiment, and with the help of this ring pattern we will find the diameter of the rings. So the same rings can be observed in the instrument also. So we will discuss the instrument now. So as we discussed in the theory, this is the instrument of Newton's ring experiment. In this experiment, this is the sodium lamp. This is a convex lens. Here at the bottom of this region there is a plain glass plate inside this black portion, and on this surface there is a plano-convex lens which is equipped here, and this is a plain glass plate which is inclined at 45-degree angle. Okay, the light is coming from the sodium lamp. The light is coming from the sodium lamp and then it incident to the plain glass plate which is inclined at 45-degree angle. Here, because the plate is transparent, there is a partial reflection and refraction will take place. Partial reflection and refraction will take place. Some light will reflect by 90-degree because this plate is inclined at 45-degree. Light will fall normally to the plano-convex lens and the plain glass plate. I have discussed the theory earlier. So light will travel the same path after reflection from the plain glass plate, and we can observe this light in this lens. Because there is an air film in between the plano-convex lens and the plain glass plate, the interference occurs which is produced by division of amplitude, and we will observe the rings in this region, or we can say in the gap of plano-convex lens and the plain glass plate. So these rings was first observed by Newton, hence these rings are known as Newton's ring, which I have shown in you PPT. Same rings is observed in this case. So you can see the rings From here, this is a travelling microscope, and in this travelling microscope, this is the main scale. This travelling microscope has a main scale here, and this is a circular scale. So there is a cross wire in the center of the ring, which I have you shown here. So with the help of this cross wire, by moving the cross wire, we can find the values at the left hand side of the ring and at the right hand side of the ring to calculate the diameter of the rings. Okay, initially you can see in the rings which I have observed here, there is a cross wire at the center. Okay, you can see that there is a gap between the rings which are initial rings, and thereafterwards the rings are very close to each other. So we have to take the reading after the fifth ring. We cannot take the reading from the first ring because of this gap. So to calculate the uniform readings, we should use the fifth ring, and then after we will take the reading from 5th to 14 on left hand side and on right hand side. So left hand side reading and right hand side reading will give us the diameter of the ring. So by revolving this circular scale, we will move towards the left hand side of the ring and right hand side of the ring. When you will move this circular scale clockwise direction, we will move towards the left hand side of the ring, and when we move this in anti-clockwise direction, we will shift towards the right hand side of the ring. Okay, so first, before calculating any type of reading, you should know the least count of the experiment. So here this is the main scale and this is the circular scale. What is the formula for least count? Value of one division on the main scale to the total number of division on the circular scale. So here in this instrument, the value of main scale is 1 mm, and total number of divisions are 100 here. So 1 by 100 is equals to 0.01 mm. So 0.01 mm is the least count of this instrument. So always remember, to calculate any type of reading, first you should know the least count of particular instrument. So here the least count is 0.01 mm. Okay, now we can start the readings by moving this circular scale in clockwise direction and in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so you can see in the microscope there are many rings. So first rotate this scale, circular scale, in a clockwise direction. I am observing here that rings are moving in the left hand side. So I am setting this cross wire at the fifth ring. So what I have done, I have rotated this scale in clockwise direction to set the ring position at the fifth ring. You can see here the position. I have set the cross wire on the fifth ring like this, fifth ring of the left hand side, and first I am setting it on fifth ring of left hand side. Now I have to calculate the reading. So first here you have to take the 0 here, and when this 0 will coincide with the which value, that is our main scale. 1 0 is here and there is a scale. There are number of 90 divisions here. The point on which point this 0 will match or coincide with this 0, this is your main scale reading. So first you have to calculate the main scale reading, and here 1 0 is also there and there are 100 divisions, and when this 0 match with the which division? That division is our circular scale reading. Okay, so in this way you have to take the reading of fifth ring. Okay, क्या होना चाहिए? 0 should match with the particular value of the scale in both the cases. Main scale से जो division आपका coincide हुआ, that is your main scale division, and the 0 which coincide with the circular scale value, that is your circular scale division. So what is the formula to calculate the total reading? Total reading is equals to main scale reading plus circular scale reading into least count. So what was our least count? 0.01, and here the main scale reading is 43. Main scale reading is 43 and the circular scale reading is 82. So what will be the total reading? 43 plus 82 into 0.01. So it will be 43.8 millimeter. This is our first reading of the left hand side of fifth ring. So in this way we have to take the reading from fifth ring to 14th ring. First on left hand side, then on the right hand side. Okay, I am also taking the second reading. Now I have set this cross wire on the sixth ring. So as this circular scale moves, this division, this scale, this 0 is also shift from the original space. So again you have to take the follow the same procedure. 0 is matching with 43. So this is our main scale reading, and this 0 is matching with 92. So this is our circular scale reading. This is our sixth ring value. So 43.90 is our sixth ring's reading. So then after you in the same way you have to take the reading of 7th ring, 8th ring, 9th ring, 10th up to 14th ring on the left hand side. Okay. Now I am explaining how to take the reading on the right hand side. So now rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Rotate the circular scale in anti-clockwise direction. And check when this cross wire will coincide with the fifth ring on right hand side. Now it is set on the fifth ring of right hand side. Remember here you have to take a precaution here. Don't move this cross wire, this circular scale very fast. You have to rotate in very simpler manner and very slowly. If you move this in faster way, you will observe the backlash error. Any one ring can skip, so it is not allowed and the reading will be wrong. So you have to move this circular scale very slowly from 5th to 6th ring, 6 to 7, and now it is set on the 5th ring on right hand side. And again we can take the reading when the 0 is matches with the main scale value, that is here 39. 39 is main scale reading and 0 is matching with second division. So 39 is main scale reading and second is the circular scale reading. So we have to multiply the least count to the circular scale reading, that is 2 into 0.01. Then we have to add this to the main scale reading, that is 39. So we have the 39.02 mm. This is our reading of fifth ring on the right hand side. Now we will take the reading of sixth ring on right hand side. By rotating it in a anti-clockwise. Now it is set on the sixth ring Again, in the similar way, we will take the reading of main scale and on circular scale. Okay, and we will take the reading from 6th to 14th ring. So, I think it is clear to all of you that how the rings we are taking the reading. So, on the left hand side we have the readings, 10 readings from 5th ring to 14th ring, and on the right hand side also we have the readings from 5th to 14th ring. Okay. So, now we can see the table. What is the formula used here? Here we are calculating the radius of curvature of a plano-convex lens with the formula d square n plus p minus dn square 4p lambda by 4p lambda. So, r is radius of curvature, n is number of the ring from 5th to 14th, which we have calculated in this experiment. P is some constant took for the calculation, and the lambda is the wavelength of light used, that is 5890 angstrom. This is the observation table. So the first, this portion, this left hand region shows the number of the rings from 5th to 14. One portion which shows the microscope reading, left hand and the right hand side reading. In left hand side column you can see MSR, CSR and total reading. MSR is our main scale reading and CSR is our circular scale reading, and total reading which we have calculated with the help of least count. Least count is multiplied in the CSR, and the addition of MSR plus CSR will give you the total reading. So, least count is 0.01 mm. So, the reading of left hand side reading, all the left hand side readings are here, and right hand side reading is also. So, how to calculate the diameter of the ring? We have used the left hand side reading and right hand side reading. We have taken 5th ring value on left hand side and 5th ring's value on the right hand side. When we will subtract these two values, subtract the total of these two values will give you the diameter of the ring. You can see here we have calculated the diameter, that is 3.65 for 5th ring. So, L minus R will give you the diameter of ring. Now, find out the square of all the diameters of the rings from 5th to 14th ring. So, it will be like this. Then the most important part is this formula, that is d square n plus p minus dn square, how it should be calculated. So, this n is number of ring. Now, let us consider the value of n is 5. Matlab we are talking about the 5th ring. So, put 5 in the place of n, and at the place of p put 5. This is some constant. We can also take 2, 3, 4, but we have taken 5 here. Minus dn matlab d5. So, we have d square 10 minus d5. So, we have to subtract diameter, square of the diameter of 10th ring minus square of diameter of 5th ring. 10th minus 5th ring will give you the 12.28. The value of d square n plus p minus dn square. Next one, n will change now, p will remain same. N is 6, so 6 plus 5 is 11. So, diameter of 11th ring, diameter of 6th ring will give you the 12.48. In the next case, n is again changed, that is 7. 7 plus 5, the next reading, that is d12. d12 minus d7 will give you the 11.7. In this way, we have taken the 5 values of d square n plus p minus dn square, and the average of all these readings is 11.58 millimeter square. Okay. So, this average of 5 readings, which is d square n plus p minus dn square, is 11.58 millimeter square. So, the main purpose of this experiment to calculate this value. Okay, this is the diameter. Now apply the formula, that is d square n plus p minus d n square upon 4 p lambda. We will use the formula and will substitute this value in the formula. So see here, r is equals to d square n plus p minus dn square upon 4 p lambda is equals to 11.58 millimeter square. We will get from the observation table, and millimeter square is 1 millimeter is 10 raised to power minus 3 meter. Hence we have written 10 raised to power minus 3 into 10 raised to power minus 3 over 4 p lambda. P is 5. We have used the P5, so we have written here 5, and lambda is 5890 angstrom. So 1 angstrom is 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. Okay, now when we will solve this, the r will be equal to 0.98 meter. So this is the radius of curvature of plano-convex lens. Okay, the standard value of this experiment, is 1 meter, and we are getting 0.98 meter. So always remember, you should calculate the percentage error in every experiment. So the formula for percentage error is a standard value minus experimental value upon standard value into 100. So our standard value in this case is 1 meter, experimental value is 0.98 meter, and divided by 1 into 100 will get 2% error. So this is very good result. The error must be less than 10%. Okay, so you should take the readings very carefully that to minimize the percentage error. So what should be the precautions in this case? So in order to minimize the error in the measurement of the diameter of the rings, the following precautions should be taken. The first important precaution, the instrument should be very cleaned properly so that you can easily observe the rings. Second, the microscope should be parallel to the edge of the glass plate. It should not be adjusted in the left or right hand side of the glass plate. It should be parallel. And the travelling microscope should be moved only in one direction to avoid the backlash error. So always remember, take the reading first on left hand side, all readings on left hand side, then all readings on the right hand side to avoid this error, and do this experiment carefully. Thank you.